Hola, estudiantes de Español 2. Welcome to comparaciones, comparisons. Okay, so if you want to get a really good look at this, take a look at page 58 in your textbook, which
53 probably has a better page, yes.
Oh, sorry. Oopsie, my bad. Well, it should be at your house, okay? But here you can see all of the information together, and now we're going to break it down into smaller pieces for you.
Break it down. Okay, para empezar, we're going to go back to the basics that you supposedly learned last year in Spanish 1 of how to compare and say something is more beautiful than something else, more intelligent than something else. Más, add an adjective and then add que. Un ejemplo. Brian es más alto que Jacob. Brian is taller than Jacob. Catherine y Madison son más bonitas que el gato. El gato no tiene pelo. So notice that we also made bonita agree with the girls. So it's bonitas, and even the verb ser had to change to son.
We can also talk about something that is less than something else. So, menos plus an adjective plus que. Por ejemplo, Jacob es menos alto que Brian. Jacob is less tall than Brian. El gato es menos bonito que Catherine y Madison. So you guys will see gato is singular. So we have bonito, and it's also a masculine word. So bonito, and also the verb ser also goes with the subject gato.
Okay, kids, so we have mayor que, which is older than, and menor que, which is younger than. Aquí tenemos un buen ejemplo. Señorita Rosenwinkel es menor que Señor Busta. Can you guess who's younger? Señor Busta es mayor que Señorita Rosenwinkel. Mr. Busta is older than Ms. Rosie.
Mejor que or peor que. Mejor que means better than, and peor que means worse than. Brandon y Sam son mejores estudiantes que Austin y Noah. Or you could go the other way. Austin y Noah son peores estudiantes que Brandon and Sam. Austin and Noah are worse students than Brandon and Sam. And just so you know, Austin and Noah are fine students. They just were acting for this photo.
They're good actors.
They really, I mean, I see the pain in their faces.
Me too.
They're good.
So for these, you're talking about the student that is the most something in a class. So we have a article, el, la, los, or las, plus the noun, so something like estudiante o persona, and then you can either use más o menos to describe if they are more or less, plus an adjective and the word de. You can also do this with the word mejor y peor, which are better or worse. So our example here is Maddie es la estudiante más estudiosa de la clase. So this means Maddie is the most studious student in our class. So it is broken down by having the noun, which is la estudiante, más, because she is the most. Estudiosa is the adjective we're using for Maddie. And then we have de la clase, of our class.
And notice estudiosa had to be changed to agree with Maddie. And the example from the book says, Cecilia cree que hacer gimnasia es la actividad más divertida de la escuela, the most fun activity in school.
Logan es el estudiante más deportista de la escuela. So Logan, being a guy, but this would actually stay the same for guy or girl for the word deportista. It'll stay deportista. But he is the most athletic student in the school, de la escuela.
Mira qué fuerte es Logan. Ahora tenemos comparaciones on things that are equal to one another. So he is as, adjective as. So the example that the book gave us was, en mi club, levantar pesas es tan popular como correr. So in my club, lifting weights is as popular as running. The example we have here is, la clase de señorita Rosenwinkel es tan interesante como la clase de señora Davidoff. Miss Rosenwinkel's class is as interesting as Mrs. Davidoff's class. Everybody in those pictures looks like they're having a good time in Spanish class.
Okay, kids, so to say things are not equal, you can use the negative. En el club atlético, levantar pesas no es tan popular como correr. So in the athletic club, lifting weights is not as popular as running. So you simply take no and put it in front of your verb to make the same sentence negative. Ryan no tiene tantas mochilas como Alexis. Ryan does not have as many backpacks as Alexis.
Ella es muy fuerte, ¿no?
Yes, and notice that tantas agrees with mochilas.
To say something as much as or as many as, you can use tanto or tanta with the noun and como, or tantos and tantas with the noun and como. So just how we saw the example before, where it agreed with tantos or tantas with mochilas. So make sure you change that depending on what you are talking about, the number and the gender. So an example is, la clase de ciencias tiene tanta tarea como la clase de español. See how tanta agrees with la tarea, which is a feminine word?
And it means science class has as much homework as Spanish class. So again, as Miss Rosenwinkel just mentioned, you have to note that tanto has to agree with gender and number to what's being compared. Hay tantas actrices en el ensayo como actores. There are as many actresses in the rehearsal as there are actors. So tantas there agrees with actrices. In our example, hay tantos chicos como chicas en el grupo. So if you notice, tantos was before chicos, so it was masculine. But if I reverse this, it becomes hay tantas chicas como chicos en el grupo. So it depends on which word you put first on which one you agree with.
Okay, kids, so here we're going to do our practice, la práctica. Text your answers for the following 4 questions to your teacher's Google Voice number, or simply write the answers down on paper and hand them in tomorrow. And here you have your teacher's Google Voice numbers. Don't worry, you can call them in the middle of the night. You will not wake them up. These numbers do not ring.
Yes, they are cloud numbers. So here's our practice. Now is the time where you should be pausing the video. Take some time and fill in the blanks. This is your pre-quiz to see how you are going to do, and also to know if you have any questions for us in class tomorrow.
This is also a good time, I think, to go back and re-watch the video and make sure you have the right answers.
Yes, and we will be going over the answers, but it's just to check to make sure you are doing it correctly. Welcome back! Now we are going to go over the answers. I showed you in the picture who is Brian in case you weren't sure which was which. Brian es más alto que Jacob. He is taller than Jacob, as you can see by the picture.
For Maddie, Maddie es menor que Señor Busta. We pointed to Maddie on the picture. She is younger than Mr. Busta.
Pretty much everyone is.
Yeah. Sorry, Bushta. You want to do it?
Sure, los chicos son los mejores estudiantes de la clase. These are the best students in the class.
And last but not least, número 4. Hay tantos estudiantes en la clase de Señora Davidoff como en la clase de Señorita Rosenwinkel. There are as many students in Miss Davidoff's class as in Miss Rosenwinkel's class. If you did not get them all right, please write down which ones you got wrong and make sure you come and ask us some questions at the beginning of class tomorrow. Gracias por escuchar. Adiós.
Qué sombrero más interesante.
Sí, es una flor mexicana.